Section 2. Video 19. Lifting state up Part 1. We have a single objective in this video. We will set up two temperature inputs with different scales, in order to demo lifting state up in the next video. Often, several components need to reflect the same changing data. We recommend lifting the shared state up to their closest common ancestor. Let's see how this works in action. We will create a temperature calculator that calculates whether water would boil at a given temperature. The calculator component will keep track of the water's temperature in local state. It will get an initial value of an empty string. The calculator component will return a field set element, within which we will place the temperature input. First, we will add a legend. Next, we will add the input element. We will make this input element a controlled component, so we will set its value as the temperature. We will listen to updates to the input value using the onChange attribute. Any changes typed into the input field will update the temperature state. Under the input element, we want to show if water would boil, given the temperature input. We will provide this with another component, which we will call boiling verdict. It will have a prop called Celsius, which will take the temperature string value converted into a floating point number. We will use JavaScript's parseFloat function to do the conversion. Now, we will define the boiling verdict component. If the temperature equals or exceeds 100 degrees Celsius, then water would boil. Otherwise, the water would not boil. Let's test our calculator in the browser. Let's type in 120 degrees Celsius. Our calculator shows that water would boil. We have a new requirement for our calculator app. In addition to a Celsius input, we want to provide a Fahrenheit input, and they should be kept in sync. We can start by extracting a temperature input component from calculator. We will now move the body of calculator into temperature input. The calculator component will now return the temperature input element. Now, we will add a scale names object. One key will be C for Celsius. The other key will be F for Fahrenheit. We can now pass in either key as a value to a new prop for temperature input. We will call this prop scale, and pass in the value C. We will have the calculator return a second temperature input element, with a scale of F. Now, in the temperature input component, we can update the legend depending on the scale prop value. We have two inputs now, but when you enter the temperature in one of them, the other doesn't update. This contradicts our requirement of keeping both of them in sync. In addition, we cannot display the boiling verdict from calculator. The calculator does not know the current temperature because it is hidden inside the temperature input component. We will fix these issues in the next video. To summarize, we set up two temperature inputs with different scales, in order to demo lifting state up in the next video. In the next video, we will continue with our discussion of lifting state up, and get our two temperature inputs to sync up with each other.